You're probably already pretty aware of how important it is to feed your body if you want it to feel good and perform well. What's less obvious is that the same thing is true about your mind. If you want your mind to feel and perform well, you've got to feed it with healthy food for thought. One concept that illustrates this principle is called priming. So just like you'd prime a pump if you wanted to prepare it to draw water, or you'd prime a wall if you wanted to prepare it for paint, priming prepares the brain to experience something. So they did an experiment at NYU. A psychologist named John Barge broke participants into two groups, and both groups were given lists of 4 words and then asked as quickly as they could to come up with sentences that contained all 4 words. But what was really happening is that they were being primed, and in one group they were being primed with words like kindness, compassion, and patience, and in the other group they were being primed with words like rudeness and anxiety and urgency. So what happened afterwards was, on their way to deliver the results to another office, they were deliberately interrupted. Now, the interruption was happening between 2 people that were having a conversation, and they were in the way of the subject as they were trying to get into the office. What the experimenters wanted to see was, how long does it take the different groups to interrupt so that they can get past them into the office? What they found was really interesting, because the group that had been primed with words like impatience and urgency and anxiety, they actually wound up interrupting after about 5 minutes. The other group that had been primed with words like compassion, kindness, and patience never interrupted. They ultimately ran out the clock. The experiment wasn't designed to last for longer than 10 minutes, so after 10 minutes of having these boring, fumbling conversations between these 2 people, they finally gave up and stopped the experiment, right? That happened with the subjects that were in the group that was primed with kindness. So the way that they were prepared to walk out into the hallway, subtly and psychologically, actually geared them up to act in very different ways. So how can we use this concept of priming? Think of an area in your life that you'd like to have improved results, that you'd like to prime yourself to succeed. Then think of somebody who's already an expert in that area. You know, if you wanted to do better in school, for instance, to be a professor. If you wanted to do better in dating, what would it be like to be that super attractive, sexy person? What would it be like to be in their mind? Write down everything that you can think of. Now what's cool is, once you get that list, you've already primed yourself to be more like that person and to not just recognize the opportunities, but also access your inner resources. What's great though, in addition to that, you've also created a tool that you can use on the regular anytime you're going into a situation where you'd want to be primed to be more like those people. Just read your list, engage with it, and think through what it would be like to be that person. This is how you feed your brain healthy food. You'll be ready to recognize those opportunities when you come across them, and you'll live more in alignment with those resources. Thanks for listening. If you liked what you saw and you'd like more free content like this, please subscribe to the channel. Also, if there's a shift that you'd like to make in your life, feel free to grab our free ebook. It's called 7 Radical Shifts to Unleash Your Personal Power, and it's chock full of tips, techniques, and strategies to help you break out of your brain and live a life of more freedom, passion, and purpose.